minutes. 30 minutes a lot of time to get anywhere and everywhere I need.
Anywhere longer than 10 minutes is just too long. Like, I had to be
I agree.
I was 3 minutes away from work every day, and I
I was 30 minutes, and that you had to take in account that you need to be at work at 8. Well, that's peak time, so you need to leave an hour early to make sure that you were.
Well, I have to negotiate around all the student drivers coming in.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I always have to add about 10 minutes on because the traffic while school's in, I mean, it doubles.
Wow.
All right, I'm
All
sorry.
right, let's go.
That's on a tangent.
Just want to introduce who you are really quickly. Just
And your position at the bank.
I'm Senior Vice President over operations. I have deposit operations out here, the call center, and loan operations.
Okay. So the first set of questions we're going to ask you is just about staffing.
Okay.
So my first question is, how has the bank recruited and retained talent throughout the years? Did you add new benefits to stay competitive? What does bank management say makes them a great place to work?
We have, last year, we did we increased our base rates up because the economy, competition at other banks, they were up in their salaries. So we did the same thing. I think we gave everybody just a 2.5% increase in their salary just for cost of living.
Yeah.
And also, and we do pay pretty well. There's also an incentive package at the end of each year where there's, depending on what department you're in, there's a set of goals or check boxes we have. And how well you do on those check boxes, you get an incentive package above and beyond your salary. So, and I think we do very well, like on our health insurance. Of course, we have a 401. We have a KSOP here for retirement. We added that 3 years ago, maybe. That's out of my field, so I know we've got it there now. That's all brand new since I've been here. I've been here 21 years.
Oh, so almost as long as it's been around.
Yeah, a little bit. So
What's
y'all weren't even around probably.
No, I wasn't.
Oh yeah, make me feel old.
I do want to ask just more or less what's the biggest changes that have happened in that time in also including in that technology kind of
The bank growth. It's the biggest thing. We grew. Well, they started in 1999. I wasn't here when the bank started. Of course, it was chartered and started here by a group of individuals that came from the bigger banks. But I got out of college in '87 and started to work at People's Bank, which is now Regions in Paducah, as a credit analyst, and then went into loan review. And in that time frame, we came and bought what was then the Bank of Murray here in Murray. And part of my job, I came to Murray every day and did loan review on their portfolio. And then I left and went to Citizens Bank, which now I think is US Bank there in Paducah. It was First Star, then
the one with the
US
blue
Bank.
drive.
It's got the 10-story building there in
that big
Paducah.
one.
I worked there, left People's and went to work there.
I think I did too.
And of course that was in the era where banks were buying banks, and I think it was First Star came in and bought Citizens Bank, and their loan review department was located in St. Louis, and they wanted me to move to St. Louis. So me and my wife went up there to St. Louis, and we're just not St. Louis people. Sorry.
Perfectly fine. I get why.
I was born and raised in Paducah, and I mean it's just a big place. So I left Citizens and went to work for Duke and Long there in Paducah, and it wasn't a bank, but I did their financial management. They had 256 convenience stores, so I pulled all the money together from the different states for the company to use, and then they got bought out. But the people that I used to work with when it was the Bank of Murray found out that I was basically losing my job because Duke and Long sold. They called me in to do loan review here. So that's how I got pulled into the bank here. So it was just a bunch of former employees of bank employees that were tired of the merger and all that. They just wanted to start a community bank that was community focused. They didn't want to sell. They didn't want to be a big global multi-state bank. They just wanted to be a community bank. And that was an interest to me because that was always what I enjoyed doing too. So that's how I got here.
So my next question would be more on training and technology side of things. So what kind of training do you offer for your bank staff?
Well, it depends on what department you come in on. Normally the operations department, we don't require a college degree or anything like that when you come in. Banking experience is nice if you've got it, but when you're hired in, if you don't have any experience in it, you go through several weeks up to a couple of months of just training on your position and cross-training on the other positions in that department. Of course, we're a community bank. We're not staffed heavily. Like our deposit operations, for a bank our size, we have 4 employees and a manager in that area, and they do a bulk of our work. So everybody has to be cross-trained, because when one person is out one day, that's a big hole, or if somebody's on vacation for a week. So first they learn the job that they're going to do, and then they cross-train on the other jobs in the department so they can fill in when necessary. So we spend a lot of time training them.
How does the bank provide career development for your younger staff, especially with the university being right?
Well, I mean, have you interviewed Catherine Lanier yet, our HR person?
No, we don't interview her till Friday.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these.
She likes to get in Murray State students, you know. But remind me of the question again. I went down a rabbit hole.
How does the bank provide career development for younger staff?
We didn't have it when I first came on. Of course, I wasn't that young when I came on, but we didn't have anything for a while. But as the bank grew, we brought in an outside consultant who was HR training, and she really started a leadership program. We now have a middle management group that meets on their own outside of, I'm senior management, so senior management will meet, but now we've got a middle management group that get together and talk about issues and where they want to see the bank going and the faults and things they see within the bank if there are any. So we're starting to pull in this younger generation. I'm gonna say younger generation because I'm old. The younger generation in and start teaching them now, you know, how this bank operates, the work ethic that we have, the goals that we have as a bank to serve our community. And I think that has helped them a lot to see we're just not a bank, but we would try to be an important part of Murray. So.
No, I'm sorry.
You're good. So my next question would be, how has the pandemic, and with the hybridness that everyone wants to do now, and I understand from what we've gathered, we've understood that you can't do banking hybrid. That's not really how it works. How has that affected your flexibility that you want to offer your employees, and also what your employees expect from their work environment?
Before the pandemic, we were totally unable to do like at home work. It hit us in the face. We just weren't prepared for it. We had a disaster plan, you know, if a tornado took this building, we had a plan that we would move to another branch. We had backups and stuff like that, but as far as people not being able to be around each other, we never conceived it. You know, it was just something we didn't think about. So we went through 2 or 3 months hurting because we didn't have laptops available for our employees. Of course, at that time, every company in America was buying laptops. They were hard to get, but we finally got the supplies we needed and the equipment we needed, and got with CSI, who is our core processor there in Paducah. They have VPNs, which is just a secure connection to them, because everything has to be secure. So it took us a month or 2 to get everything working, but now, as we went through those 2 years really of COVID, and even now with snow and things like that, there are people within our department. I've got 3 people in deposit ops, 2 people in loan ops, that can go home with a laptop. They keep it all the time, and every function that is necessary to get done every single day, we can do just from home. So, I mean, that really taught us to think outside the box, not just, the branch is closed, but you can't be beside somebody working. For a while, we had half the staff stay home and work, and the other half come in, and then the next week, that half would come to work, and the other half, that doesn't, we just had to try different methods to see what really works. So now we just have what we call essential workers that we have pointed out, saying your job is essential to the bank every single day. Deposit ops have cutoffs, different times during the day that have to get certain things done, and they have to be done every single day. So we have what we've determined to be essential workers that keep a laptop at home all the time, a bank laptop, and if they're unable to come in or something like that, they have full function to do everything they need to do at home, which is really nice.
Yeah.
How did Murray Bank innovate for its customers? Like Mr. Ryan was telling us about the PPP loan. Did Murray Bank come up with any other resources for its clients during like the pandemic and now the current recession?
Well, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but we did, through the pandemic, we let people, of course it was hard on everybody. People were laid off. My wife was laid off for a while. She worked for a doctor. They just shut down their office. They just said they couldn't operate.
Mercy Health?
She works for a chiropractor.
Oh,
She's an
okay.
x-ray tech for a chiropractor. And the state just said chiropractors can't be in business.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the doctor's office is good, but chiropractors had to shut down because they were
Hands
so
on,
physical.
yeah.
So we gave people, I think it was up to 4 months where they could just skip a payment because a lot of people were unemployed or laid off or whatever for that. It really wasn't technology like you're talking about, but we made provisions for people to be able to skip loan payments and things like that. For a while there, we didn't charge people overdraft fees.
Did that hurt the bank in any way?
Well, yeah, it cuts into our financial standing, but we just felt like, if we're gonna be a community bank, we need to be there for our community.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they still had bills to pay, they still had things like that. So we just quit charging overdraft fees, to an extent. We gave them where they could extend their loans and skip certain months to give them time to build up finances again once people started going back to work. So,
Do you feel it was the bank's response and the way that you guys handled it that kind of, because we've been hearing you guys did very well during the pandemic. So obviously that stuff can hurt you, but it didn't in the grand scheme of things.
in the grand scheme of things, it did. I think it made our customers realize how loyal we are to them.
Yeah.
So, and it also, on the technology part, it prompted us to do certain things with online banking quicker than what we had originally planned. Of course, we didn't have digital banking. We had the foundation for it, but now you can, through CSI, the products they do, you can basically do all your banking on your phone. You don't even have to come into the lobby anymore. So we can do mobile deposits through your checks, of course, direct deposit. You can transfer your money between accounts all you want to. You can make a loan payment, now through your app. You don't even have to come in. So we never did shut our lobby. I know other banks in the area did shut their lobby during that time, but we always had our lobby open. There was a time frame there where you had to kind of make an appointment to come in because the state was limiting what we could do. But it really motivated us to look at other technology. If people can't come to your bank, how do you get those products to your people?
So when did this mobile banking pop up? During the pandemic that just forced you to progress faster?
Right.
Ah, okay.
We just had to think of new ways for people to get their banking done.
Yeah, it was kind of important for a bank.
Yeah.
What kind of, so it kind of sounds like you guys are pretty much caught up in a lot of the main technological parts that come with banking. What are some things that you see that you don't have that a larger regional bank would have?
We don't jump on the bandwagon real quick here. Like, there's other banks in the area that have the intelligent ATM machines where you have the screen and somebody's live there. When that first came out, that was there was all about, everybody was talking about it. You know, that's the big push. We didn't jump right in. We did buy ATMs that have that ability, but we'd have to staff that. If we went to the screens where there's a live person there to help you, you're going to have to staff that, you know. And so we didn't jump into it real quick. We did buy the technology, but we didn't actually activate it. And now that has kind of lost its glimmer. People don't use it as much as they thought they were going to be using it. So I'm glad we didn't staff the bank with the ability to do that, because, you know, where would we be now? So
The strategy of following close behind
We
is
keep-
good. I mean, it's worked for you.
we keep our finger to the pulse of what's happening. And if it fits for our bank, we go for it. But there's some things in the big city, that are convenient to their customers, but it just doesn't work here. I know, you know, the kiosks in the lobby where everything is kind of self-service, and a lot of our customers are older. We have a big base of customers that are older. They don't want that kind of technology. Now the younger kids, y'all are used to all the online, and, you know, I don't want to go to the bank, I don't want to stand in line. But we have a lot of customers here that's what they want. They want to go sit down in front of a person and talk to them, and we don't want to lose that. We want to do things that y'all need, but we don't want to alienate our older customers too. So.
Do you think as like the generations progress, y'all would become more technologically
Oh yeah,
advanced?
I mean
Okay,
that's
so it's
that's
just
the
like
way
as it
that's
goes.
the way banking's
Okay,
going.
yeah.
Everything is it's not only automatic now. It's at the moment. Before, when you transferred money, even online, it might take a day or two for it to actually hit the other bank account. You know, especially if you're at another bank,
Right.
you're going between banks. Now they're coming out with FedNow. Federal Reserve has realized people want things done at a touch of a button. So now it's going to be within seconds, and we're in line to go that as soon as it's available. CSI is going to let us know when they have it up and running, and then we'll just jump on that bandwagon because we know that's coming. So.
Can you think of like a great David and Goliath story where Murray Bank's smaller scale has helped it, like given it an advantage over larger scale banks?
Well, I think just like through the pandemic when we didn't close our lobbies, the reason a lot of the bigger banks did close their lobbies because their corporate headquarters said, you can't let customers in and do all that. We don't have anybody over us. We can make our own decisions. Loan decisions, we can make all our loan decisions right here in this building. We don't have to send information off to some global headquarters in another state somewhere and wait for them to tell us what their decision is. All the decisions are made right here. When you call this bank, you get a live person. You don't get a recording and hit option 3 and option 4 and option 5. You get a live person, and we stand behind that. That's what we want. And we think our customers appreciate that. And with the growth of the bank, it's kind of evident that, you want the technology, you want the speed, you want the convenience, but you also want personal contact and being able to put a face to a name and sitting in front of somebody that feels like they care about what you're wanting to do. So I think we have a good mix of both.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Being with us.
You might hear from us again. You might not.
And you said this is a competition
Yes.
So-
Fingers
Is it-
crossed we win.
nationwide then? or-
Yes. They had